Beg. What did Tinubu they use $6 billion to? What did Tinubu want use $6 billion to? One by Cameroon and Ghana. Guy, we go there here. We don't know what in this up. I mean, they won't pay them off, collect Nigeria. $6 billion. Guy, what do we all use that do? What did our president will use $6 billion do? They talk say, they buy people for Jos. Jos is in chaos. The country is in chaos. Everybody they shout. President they behind the talk. I beg, Senate. I want to collect $6 billion. You approve for me. May I collect $6 billion? That are the fastest approval where Senate don't give so far. Fastest approval. I just they see the news. President Tinubu requests to collect loan of $6 billion. I just they see him. The next minute, I don't they see Senate approves. Jesus. I say about you, what did they happen? So it can be this fast. Meanwhile, electoral reform, where we don't push since electronic transmission of results on time, real time, we don't push them since. They begin the seat since 2022, abi 2023. They sit, abi 2024. They sit. At the end of the day, they no sit out anything to collect $6 billion. Stamp full everywhere. Guy, at the tell on say Muna, everybody already $6 billion. What do you want use them do? All the borrowing where we they borrow, the country still there like this. People still they suffer. The only progress where we don't see now say you install solar for so long. I don't understand. What did they use $6 billion do? It is not even affecting having effect on the citizens. Borrow every day. You go wait, make you see changes. Nothing they happen at all. It just be like say the more you borrow, the more they suffer the more. Who go pay all this money? You borrow without physical project. You borrow without anything that will yield the money. You hope on people who go work hard on their own. You do not provide job, no electricity, no good road, nothing. You dey borrow. All are there. Mamma mia.
Government data, I'm not quoting something out of the air. So for that 100 billion that goes out every month from Federation account, without appropriation by the National Assembly, by the way, without appropriation by the state assemblies, because part of the money belongs to the states. So each state assembly is supposed to appropriate that part. So the entire deduction and expenditure is unconstitutional. It's an impeachable offense. But it has been going on for more than 15 months from the last time I checked. So where has that 1.5 trillion gone? What is it being used for? Why is the security situation just getting worse? Why is the government asking communities to protect themselves? Look,
well,
President Tinubu's government has felt woeful. Look, beyond, if you asked me in 2022 or 2023 when we were campaigning that things will ever be this bad, I would say that you are mentally ill.
Very briefly, because we're almost out of time.
Or rather, in 2025, for perhaps capital projects.
Borrowing is not criminal. We have been coming from mismatch of our needs. We have a serious infrastructural deficit. If you don't put money on a long-term matching project, long-term basis, we don't have the short-term to manage a long-term business. It's a mismatch. That's one. Yes, we have headed the wrong road in the past. I don't want to look at that. I want to think about prosperity for our country. I want to think about tomorrow, today. What is the element of this borrowing? Capital project. Our roads are terrible. Our internet is not up to the level that we want as a technology-driven nation. We are still indebted in electricity and deficient in power generation. How do you slice it? You have to take it with the two hands and brace up for a very, very strong, push. It's like a pregnant woman. There's big expectation and big contraction and labor pain. You go through it. The baby is born. You are happy. If that baby is alive, you have the joy of birth. And that is what we are working at. It's not just because we want to inflict pain on anybody. No. It's because we share the same value. We want this country to grow. There's no other way out of it unless we invest in our today prosperity and opportunity.
The current expenditure that has been touched. I want you to enlighten us on why our capital projects still remains at zero. No, I'm talking about our country. This is our country. Are you not in Nigeria? Why the capital of the Nigerian government remains at zero in 2026. I'm talking about 2025 and we're carrying over to 2026 with all the payments that have been paid into the federal government coffers. I want you to also enlighten us, because I know that you're older than me. I'm almost 50.
As you're all aware, that the budget that was presented by the president was extended to March 31st of this month. So effectively, the budget ends today. And you quite agree with me that not all the 30% of the 30% of that budget has been paid. And the moment we fail to make that provision, that budget will have a K-leg. That is, we only have 70% in the 2026. And it is expected that by now, the 30% should have been paid. But as we speak, we are still having this challenge, or funding challenge. And as such, for us to act swiftly and on time to avoid any kind of crisis, we made a provision of the sum of 5.71 trillion naira in the budget. When you add that to the 58 that was brought by the president, it gives you a sum of 68 trillion naira. And this is contained in the report I presented to the Senate this afternoon concerning the budget of consolidation that was eventually passed into law. While the sum of over 6 trillion naira was the borrowing that was added to the existing borrowing to fund, as part of other fund, to fund the 9 trillion budget, that additional budget which the president has sought the approval of the National Assembly from. Yes, why do we borrow? It's a question. But do we use that money borrowed for the purpose in which it is meant for? If the answer is yes, then there's nothing to fear. Business of government is continual. Yes, you are right. He who goes to borrow goes to sorrow. But this is not the case of Nigeria, because our going concern is not in doubt. The investment drive is showing.
Today I'm standing before you, I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August.